You're a pretty clued up audience about Parkinson's, and I think you've been told in your programme that I have Parkinson's. But supposing we could take Alistair's 400 people off the street and bring them in here without the context of Parkinson's, what do you think you would make of the individual standing before you? Middle-aged man, not carrying too much weight, looks reasonably fit, perhaps an athletic type. If I told you I was 68 in a couple of days' time, you'd probably think, well, he's not too bad for his age, looks after himself, not much wrong with him, and that might be your instant judgment on seeing me for the first time. And of course, all of that is superficially true. But you, or a good many of you in the audience, will know that it's not quite like that. There is another side. There's the bit that the casual observer does not see. He doesn't see the bit that sees me thrashing around in bed at night because my legs won't settle down or they're racked with cramps. They won't see me in the morning, faced with the pain of getting up and exercising to try and get those stiff and painful limbs moving. They won't see the bit that sees me shuffling around the house until the first of the day's drugs kicks in and I can make a reasonable attempt at shirt buttons or shoelaces. They won't see the mixture of drugs that help to keep me stable for reasonable periods. The drugs to treat the Parkinsons, drugs to treat the unwanted effects of the drugs that I take to treat the Parkinsons, drugs to control the violent nightmares, medicines to stop the bowels seizing up, and pills to help me control my bladder. All the things that are critical, really, to getting me through the day and sustaining me more or less like this. And so far, it's worked for me. My wife says it's like waking up with an old man who gets younger through the course of the day. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. She goes to bed with the same old man that crawled out of bed in the morning. But despite all that, I've had a pretty good run in the 13 years since I was diagnosed. But what of the future? Well, things are starting to kick in for me. My driving is pretty nearly gone. I'm at the point of giving that up. My reactions and awareness are failing quite quickly. I'm starting to get freezing of movement, and many of you will know what that's all about. There are times when I can't seem to think about what to do next. If I drop a cup or a glass, I feel rooted to the ground while other people clear up the wreckage around me. The balance is failing. I've had a couple of heavy falls, and I don't seem to be able to react quickly enough to recover from a trip or to protect myself on the way down. I'm getting the initial signs of dyskinesia, and I'm starting to experience some cognitive problems. I could go on. The truth is that Parkinson's is an insidious and destructive condition which saps one's energy, one's independence, one's freedom of movement, one's ability to communicate, even very simple things like joining in a lively conversation. It's gone before you've thought of the words and want to come in. Or kicking a football in the park with your grandchildren. It doesn't take your life, but it does take away your pleasure in living, one joie de vivre. And it is relentless. Every day it wants a little bit more from me. So it's a battle, a challenge that takes place in this body of mine to try and get through each day without getting worse. To try and do today what I could do yesterday. That's what someone with Parkinson's wakes up with every morning. And fighting that battle day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, it's wearisome. And it's not surprising that people get fed up with the battle and lose the energy and the will to keep fighting. My friends and colleagues know that I rarely talk about my own Parkinson's symptoms, not for any other reason that I do not want to be seen through the prism of Parkinson's. But as a person, I don't want to be seen as a person with Parkinson's, but just as a person. And in an ideal world, Parkinson's should not be the first thing that people find out about me. Rather, it should be the last. And if somebody says to me, having met them for the first time and had a conversation with them, at the end says, "Gosh, I didn't realise you had Parkinson's," I think, yeah, result. So why have I gone on about it this evening? Because I wanted to put the reality of the challenge that people with Parkinson's face alongside the hope that research brings, perhaps for us, but certainly for the future. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. And as I wake up every morning facing the challenge of getting through the day with my Parkinson's, I can reflect that all over the country, indeed all over the world, there are researchers waking up to their daily Parkinson's challenge, going to their universities and their institutions, working in their labs, experimenting, writing theses, conducting clinical trials, testing new hypotheses, people seeking to get a step nearer to a complete understanding of this strange set of symptoms which I've described. People for whom their daily challenge is to take a step nearer to a better treatment or closer to a cure. When I visit research establishments, I always have a mix of emotions. I have a sense of humility. People are devoting a huge range of skills, time, knowledge, even entire careers to understanding this strange condition which I have. And I have a sense of wonder at the things they can do. If I'm honest, it's mixed with a sense of impatience. These people are so clever. They know so much. They have fantastic equipment. Why is it so difficult to reach out and pluck down that cure? I don't know. But most of all, I come away with a sense of hope. And I know that behind all that research, there's an army of people, organisations and individuals that are equally passionate about finding the answers and who encourage and support that research effort. And just as Parkinson's is relentless, really, in its assault on those of us unlucky enough to have it, the progress to a complete understanding and ultimately a cure is equally relentless. Yes, there's impatience to do it quicker, but slowly and surely we will get there. And what a legacy to part on to the next generation. Just think of it, a world free of Parkinson's. Think of all the needless suffering that would alleviate. And to be part of it, to be able to say, I was there, my research contributed to that, or I helped to make it possible. My 3-year-old granddaughter came up to me a few weeks ago and said, Bob Ops, why do you walk like a penguin? Well, I had to say that's a very good question. I don't know, but there are lots and lots of very clever people trying to find out. But wouldn't it be great if her children didn't have to ask the question? Well, we've heard tonight about some of the key steps in pursuit of that objective, all of which reinforces my sense that we are making real progress. And events such as this, which bring together key players, leading academics and researchers, and our supporters and people with Parkinson's, are an important means of sustaining that momentum. And I'm delighted to say there are 2 more such events in the diary. There's the Gretchen Amphlett Memorial Lecture in Cambridge on the 14th of April, and the Ian Fowler Memorial Lecture in Manchester on the 13th of May. And we're really grateful to the families of Gretchen and Ian for making these events possible. And if you'd like to find out any more about any of them, please approach one of the Parkinson's UK staff. As for this evening, I would like to thank our 2 lecturers, Alistair Noyce and Michelle Hu, and to wish them every success in their research. Thanks also to Steve. Thanks very much. Thanks also to Steve Ford and to Arthur Roach, our new Director of Research. And thanks to all the team with Parkinson's UK who've helped to make this event possible. Thanks to you all for coming. Thank you for your interest and thank you for your support. Have a safe journey home. Thank you.